Welcome to a new edition of Culture Hash. This week we're going to look at a brand new mixtape from Big K.R.I.T entitled TDT. Some of you might be asking, who's Big K.R.I.T? Well, I'll tell you. Big K.R.I.T is a Mississippi rapper slash producer. He broke out in 2010 with the mixtape Wuz Here. This project was mostly self-produced, and since 2010, Big K.R.I.T has been a mainstay of the underground hip-hop circuit. Big K.R.I.T and Kendrick Lamar emerged at similar times, and both artists had striking similarities at the time. They were both known for their socially conscious approach to hip-hop, and both were known for their thought-provoking rhymes during their respective careers. While Kendrick Lamar has broken through to the mainstream, Big K.R.I.T remains happy to stick to a more underground sound and maintains a high degree of creative control over his output without the need to worry about crossing over to mainstream success. Compared to Big K.R.I.T's excellent mixtape discography, his first two studio albums were quite disappointing. As we heard, the Mississippi rapper tried to cross over with some mediocre tracks. These two albums were released on Def Jam, and it's speculated that there was a bit too much of a focus on commercialism here. In 2017, Big K.R.I.T went independent and finally delivered a strong album that his fans have been hoping for since his career launched. Forever Is a Mighty Long Time was released on Big K.R.I.T's independent label, Multi Alumni, towards the end of 2017. Unlike the UK, where many rappers form their own independent record labels and see success on the charts, this is less common in America, and Big K.R.I.T did very well for his album Forever Is a Mighty Long Time to peak at number 7 on the US album charts. The album only ended up selling 45,000 copies in the end, but it's a good achievement for Big K.R.I.T, someone who is not known for being a mainstream singles-based rap musician like some of his more successful peers. Forever Is a Mighty Long Time was a strong offering despite it being a double album. It's difficult to create a double album in the rap genre, but Big K.R.I.T's Forever Is a Mighty Long Time is the closest we've got to a very strong double album released within this last few years. The album was primarily produced by Big K.R.I.T, and he had a relatively quiet 2018, only emerging towards the end of the year to release a trilogy of short EPs. These projects were entitled Thrice X, Down and Trifecta. The most recent of these, Trifecta, was released on the 10th of December 2018. The TDT mixtape is a compilation of the tracks from these 3 EPs. TDT is 8 tracks long, running to about 25 minutes, making it quite a taut and tight listen. Considering the brief nature of the 3 EPs which make up TDT, it suggests to me that Big K.R.I.T might have been a bit tired after putting everything into his last double album, and these short projects are just to tide the fans over until he releases something more substantial. TDT is quite a nice little compilation of these EPs and works nicely as a holdover project. Considering these 3 EPs were released within the space of a month, it's not surprising to hear Big K.R.I.T experiment with some new sounds here. The opening track, Energy, is trap inspired. It feels a little bit like J. Cole's ATM and uses a similar chorus. And Big K.R.I.T's flow on Energy is a lot more choppy than we're used to. Learn from Texas is an homage to the chopped and screwed music that dominated Houston rap in the 1990s and 2000s. There are several musicians who are directly inspired by Texas chopped and screwed music, and as is customary on these style of tracks, Big K.R.I.T includes a chopped vocal sample to constitute the majority of the chorus, while the verses deal with the influence figures like DJ Screw had upon Big K.R.I.T in his formative years as a musician. Another great track inspired by this genre is Stally's Swangin', which features Scarface. Learn from Texas is one of the standout tracks on TDT, and the drums, whistling beat and thumping bass is the perfect homage to this style of Texas hip-hop. Pick Yourself Up is another enjoyable track on this mixtape. Big K.R.I.T addresses people that are living their lives in a shallow and unsatisfying way. And the chorus just emphasises the need to pick yourself up and live a bit more positively. It's a really sticky chorus that stays in your mind after you hear it. He addresses subjects of people who are just spending all their money just to show off to their friends, people that enter negative relationships, but all from a spirit of positivity and the hope to inspire people to make better life choices. These introspective and thoughtful verses from Big K.R.I.T are part of his trademark style, while the tracks on this mixtape which deviate from this style are the weaker ones. 100 is the most notable example of this. It is an attempt from Big K.R.I.T to make a heartfelt ballad for a woman who left him from a relationship, but the way she dumped Big K.R.I.T leaves him to still respect her, and the hook just talks about how she kept it 100 with him. The hook is sung in a very grating, irritating way, and him singing the hooks in this manner in a very catchy, poppy way doesn't really suit the Big K.R.I.T style that we know. The verses are mostly good, but the beat's quite generic with the female vocal samples scattered throughout the verses and the chorus. The best part of this track is the singing that comes in at the end. I really like this refrain, but it has nothing to do with Big K.R.I.T, and 100 is not a great track on this project. Look What I Got is another mediocre track where Big K.R.I.T talks about what he went through to get to where he is now, but without much energy or charisma, and is again a weak moment on this mixtape. It's expected for an experimental project like TDT to have some spotty moments. These spotty moments mainly occur towards the end of the project, but are saved by Higher, King Part 6, an introspective track where Big K.R.I.T talks about finding religion and just reconsiders his life, his relationship with his father, how he struggles to show emotion at times. The beat is really rich and features these distorted vocal samples that Big K.R.I.T uses to base in and around his verse, and they really emphasise God and the part he plays in Big K.R.I.T's life at the moment. Higher is the sort of Big K.R.I.T mature, introspective tracks that I love to hear from him. TDT is a experimental project from Big K.R.I.T. Due to it being comprised from 3 separate Big K.R.I.T projects, naturally this project is quite choppy and doesn't really have much coherence. It's nice to hear Big K.R.I.T experiment with some different sounds, step out of his comfort zone a bit. Some of the trap-inspired songs are quite catchy and interesting, but the highlights are tracks like Higher, where Big K.R.I.T shows off his lyrical ability and thoughtfulness through the verses and the excellent beat. TDT is an enjoyable project and worth a listen for any Big K.R.I.T fans who are looking forward to hearing what the artist is going to come up with in 2019. For me, it's worthy of 7 out of 10.